Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous. Really good. Excited to be visiting with Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers man, later in the program. It's a time of year when a lot of kids will be graduating, trying to decide to go to school or not to go to school. That is the question. Well, he's going to talk to us about student loans. And that's pretty deep topic, really. A lot of people out there that have big, huge student loans, and then there's some people out there that get scholarships and don't have any, so they can just go. So we're going to chat about it and see what the best plans are according to a financial expert. So we're going to find out that here later in the program. You ready for our quote of the day, Heidi?
Definitely.
It says, everything has beauty, but not everyone can see it. Confucius. Everything has beauty, but not everyone can see it. So there's beauty in everything, even things that maybe you don't necessarily see beauty in.
I would agree with that.
Probably. Yep, there you go. Coming up, we got some special things going on today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Friday, May the 12th. Today is Child Care Provider Day. It is Fibromyalgia and Chronic Fatigue Syndrome Awareness Day. It is Fintastic Friday, giving sharks a voice. So it's like a shark thing, Heidi.
Okay.
It is Hug Your Cat Day today. And if you've got a cat, I know, you hug your cat every day. International Awareness Day for Chronic Immunological and Neurological Diseases Day.
Alrighty then.
Wow. I was going to get a bumper sticker for that, but it wrapped around the car 4 times. So, International Nurses Day. Military Spouse Appreciation Day. National Nutty Fudge Day. Odometer Day, 1 day without shoes day. So you're supposed to go barefooted today. Do you think you could do that all day?
Yeah, as long as I wasn't like walking on rocks or anything, I'd be fine.
If I didn't have a lot of places to go, I could probably do that. And our last one is Limerick Day. You have any good limericks?
No.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe you'd have one. I should have maybe told you that in the beginning, and then you could have worked on a limerick.
No.
Yeah.
Don't have any limericks.
Usually, if I would give her the spotlight for a limerick, it would be something naughty anyway. So. Coming up, we got full contact golf. That's what we're going to have for our Heard It on the Radio segment on the way.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Sports, Heidi, seem to just be getting more and more violent as time goes on. Well, the violence has now turned to the relaxing game of golf. A golfer has been arrested after starting a fight on a golf course in Florida over, believe it or not, a lost golf ball. Yeah. Robert Jacobs has been charged with battery after being accused of scrapping on the fairway with Robert Borkowski. Now, Mr. Jacobs claims Mr. Borkowski deliberately threw his ball into a lake. He went to get a new ball from Mr. Borkowski's bag, and the two started fighting. Because of this incident, now, Mr. Jacobs had to spend some time in jail, but was released on bail. Mr. Jacobs said, "It probably sounds kind of funny. If I opened up a paper and read about this, I'd probably have a laugh too, but it really truly happened to me," end quote. I don't understand why you're getting so worked up over a golf ball. How much does a golf ball cost?
They're not cheap.
But
especially if you're an avid golfer. You're not buying the,
even
cheap
a
golf
good one.
balls.
What is it, $10? I mean, that's probably a lot. I think it's less than that. Is it worth going to jail over?
Apparently for these two.
No, it's just not. Hey, I have
Man, I'm sorry, but what a move. You don't pick up somebody's ball and throw it in the water and then get all mad when he tries to replace it with one of them that you've already got.
Yeah, you just don't. That is kind of a jerk
He kind of deserved to go where he went, I think.
It's kind of a jerk move. Hey, for those of you who go golfing and you lose your ball because all balls kind of look a lot alike, you're like, oh, hey, I have a Titleist. Oh, I have a Titleist. I've got a guy that I'm going to be talking to. They just sent this thing to me. I have it right here. It's called the Tin Cup. Did you see this thing already?
No.
I'm going to pull it out of here if I can. There it is, flying towards you.
Yes, I did see this.
It's a thing you put your golf ball in, and then you put a stencil on it, basically. We're going to be giving that away in the month of June, like in time for Father's Day, but I'm going to be doing the interview with him here real soon. So it's called the Tin Cup. I thought that was really cool. And he sent that over to me, and this story reminded me of it. Anyway, this guy got in a fight on the golf course because somebody was messing with his ball. And you know it's true? Because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs. A British woman is accused of downing some prescription drugs, a couple of bottles of wine. It says 2 or 3. That's a lot of wine. And then some liquid soap, just to wash it all down. This was on an airplane, and she was heading towards London from the United States. They ended up stopping in Maine. Prosecutors say Galina Rusnova, I don't know if I said it right, punched and kicked attendants on the Chicago-based United Airlines flight and snapped at them like a dog while trying to bite one. And apparently that didn't work out hot. FBI says the Russian-born London resident had to go to Los Angeles to visit a man that she met on the internet and was returning Wednesday when her flight was diverted to Bangor, Maine. With the soap there in the concoction, I wonder if maybe the date left a bad taste in her mouth.
I'm sure it probably did.
So
Naughty girl.
Things did not go well. Anyway, kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A man from Sweden is in custody for suspicion of theft. Here's the interesting thing is how they caught the guy. He tried to reclaim a bag that he left on a bus. Now, I don't know if he didn't think the police were going to look in the bag, but he called the police to say, hey, did you find a gun? A bag that had a gun and a mask? Yeah, it had a sawed-off shotgun and a mask. Police have no idea why they thought he would have, why he thought they wouldn't have looked in there. They're like, hey, we found a bag. Let's just not open it.
Yeah.
In case anybody comes looking for it.
But you can't have a sawed-off shotgun no matter what.
Yeah, and this is in Sweden. I don't even think they can even have guns, can they? I'm not sure. Anyway,
I think Sweden is pretty okay with guns.
Are they? Okay.
I think so.
Well, he had a sawed-off shotgun and a mask, and now he's in jail. So there you go. Coming up, your scoop of the day.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. After a bad breakup, who's the first person most people call?
Their mom.
Well, that's the second most important according to the story. Regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, if you get dumped, you usually call a good female friend. 27% of the people do that. Number 2 on the list, by the way, is mom, 17%. By the way, don't forget mom this weekend. It's Mother's Day. A New Jersey high school student is hoping to become a funeral director when she graduates. Well, she surprised her classmates by showing up at prom in a coffin.
I saw that. That's so weird.
It's different. Yeah, that's a little different. American Idol is going to return to television this spring. It's going to be on ABC television now rather than Fox. I'm not sure why.
I never liked that one. Did you watch that one?
I didn't really, but I know that there were people that did. We have friends that were like super hooked on it. So
yeah.
It's not going to be on Fox. Now it's going to be on ABC TV. Antonio Sabato Jr., he's been a model for Calvin Klein underwear for years. Now he's running for Congress in Southern California. Can you imagine there's somebody that's going to be running against this guy that's like a long-term politician, an alderman, or whatever, city council, and now running for Congress against a guy that we're just famous for wearing underwear, and he'll probably win. So, what'd you do before? Stood around in my underwear. You sound like the guy for the job. Who knows? He may have some great abs. No, not that. Points. May have some really good ideas. Who knows? Qantas Airlines CEO Alan Joyce was making a speech talking to about 500 people in Perth, and a man calmly walked on stage and smashed a pie in his face and then walked off. What is the proper thing to do after something like that happens?
I don't know.
I mean,
I wonder if it was like set up, like if it was an
know.
employee and that was a big joke.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure
Can't
out.
imagine they would just let some random guy walk up on stage while he was in the middle of a speech.
Apparently, well, Maybe, maybe not. A Michigan man says a spider is responsible for a rollover crash. The 26-year-old man told deputies he was distracted by a spider on the visor above his head, and he drove his vehicle, a GMC Envoy, off the road. The vehicle crashed into a ditch before coming to rest against several trees. Can you imagine how manly this guy feels right now? Everybody else are so you had an itsy-bitsy spider, huh? It's not so good. In about 1 year, approximately 900 million trees are chopped down to make raw materials for paper that we use in America alone.
And is that up
million.
From what it used to be back in the day before computers,
Yeah,
or
'cause
do we have more
I
now?
don't know. It seems to me that the whole plan was we're going to go digital. We're never going to need
Paperless,
paper. But
yeah.
Now we use more paper than we used before,
Yeah, that's
I believe.
insane.
That's crazy. Attention business owners, a new survey claims that a huge number of customers are getting rid of firms who use automated telephone lines. So if people call your company and they have to press 1 or press 2 or press 9 or press 8, a lot of them are pressing somebody else's number and going to work with them instead. 60% of those surveyed said they switched services, and they have done so in the last year because they didn't like hanging on the telephone and waiting for some
I
sort
will
of customer
definitely.
service.
I'm the same way. I hate those automated things.
Not a fan. Speaking of phones, did you know that 10% of Americans don't have a cell phone, which now means 90% of Americans have a cell phone, Heidi?
Of course. Even toddlers are walking around with cell phones now.
You know what? It's funny because it seems like they're younger and younger when they get phones nowadays. It's like, oh, your daughter is adorable. She is so cute. What's that? Oh, she's got a cell phone already? She's like a month old. Oh, well, yeah, I guess she's got to keep up with Snapchat. So, and our final story. Scientists at Oxford University Imperial Cancer Research Fund found that people who eat fresh fruit on a daily basis have 24% fewer heart attacks and 32% fewer strokes. So they're saying, have some
Should
fresh
go
fruit.
get some fruit.
Yeah, so coming up in a bit, we'll be eating fruit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
80s in the Sand will be happening this November in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic.
And that'll be here before you know it.
Join us and have a blast with 80s in the Sand.
An all-inclusive vacation with some of the greatest bands of the 80s.
Plus, you can meet some 80s icons from the movies and television as well.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We are at the time of year where we've got a lot of folks who are going to be walking across the stage and, getting that little diploma. And there's also a lot of people making these decisions on where to go once they're done with high school or they're going to head off to college. We've got a guy on the line right now. We talk to him about once a month, and it's always something to do with finances. But this is going to be a great month to talk about student loans. And he's the author of The Ultimate Guide to Student Loans, Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. Jordan, how are you, sir?
Great to be with you again, John.
Always good to be with you. People who are signing up for these student loans because they want that secondary education, are there things that they should be doing before they sign up for the student loans? Or is a lot of the stuff that you work with people who already have them, or a little bit of both?
Well, both. I mean, the book I did called The Ultimate Guide to Student Loans actually has 3 sections. The first part is how to save up front so that you don't have to take on student loans. The second part is how to get the best student loans. And then the third part is once you've got them, how to pay them off as quickly as possible. And there's people in all 3 of your camps probably in your audience, John. So as far as the saving up part, probably the best thing for most people is 529 plans that most states have, where you can put in money, depending on the state, maybe about $5,000, something like that. It grows tax-free inside the account as long as you use it for college education. Tuition, room, board, all those kind of things. You have until the kid is age 30 to use it. So he could be a ski bum for a few years and then come to his senses and then go to school. And, as long as he uses it by age 30. And if kid number 1 doesn't use it, you can use it for kid number 2.
Oh, so that can transfer from one student to another?
Correct, in the family. So it's pretty flexible. And then within those 529 plans, there's different choices. When you're in your younger years, when the kids say under 10, be in the more aggressive choices. And then as you get nearer to actually needing the money for tuition, then get a little bit more conservative. But it's a great way to save, and you can do very low expenses. And depending on your state, some states your contribution is deductible, state taxes, and some it's not. I lay all this out in The Ultimate Guide to Student Loans. So that's the first thing. And a lot of people are not saving close to enough, John,
Yeah.
So by the time they get to college, they've got to borrow a huge amount of money. The average person today graduating with $38,000 in student loan debt. The average. A lot of people, 50, 100, 150,000 undergraduate, and then graduate. You go to business school, law school, medical school, 200, 300, 400,000 on top of that before they get their first job.
Man.
So it's pretty crazy what's happening out there. So the more you can save up front, less you have to borrow when you get there. Federal loans are certainly the cheapest out there, but in many there are limits as to how much you can borrow. After the kid is maxed out, then the parents get Parent Plus loans, and they quickly can get maxed out as well. And then people start borrowing against their home equity, and they borrow against their 401ks. And the new thing, John, now is that the grandparents are being asked to chip in for the grandkids because they've got money and the parents are already maxed out. It's a multi-generational problem, I would say, these days.
The best thing to do would be to start saving right away when the kids are young, because you know they're going to grow up and you know that this is a possibility. So the best thing to do would be to start while they're young and just kind of have a plan. But for people who maybe didn't do that, let's say, oh no, my kid's graduating this year or coming up next year and I don't have time to save, what's the next best plan?
Well, I mean, certainly there are scholarships. There are grants and scholarships available, but it takes work. You know, they don't just kind of hand you a check. You know, you've got to research which ones are out there. And frankly, I would have the kids do the research. Don't have the parents do everything for them. Have the kid do the research. So say they're a left-handed piano player from Sioux Falls that wants to go to Michigan State. You know, there may be somebody with just that specific profile, and he's the only one applying for it or something like that. There's actually a lot of money every year, scholarships, that is not given out because they can't find the people that meet the specific criteria. So get all the free money that's available at the school itself, maybe from your state. Again, in that book, The Ultimate Guide to Student Loans, there's all kinds of different things. But then after you've done that, chances are you're going to have to borrow, which is what people are doing, and that's where they get into such trouble. So when they get out of school, they've got these debts. Now, typically you have 6 months from when you graduate to have to start paying, kind of deferment period, right, when you have to start paying them. In theory, you're supposed to go get a job, get established, and then 6 months from now, you know, you start making payments. The reality is a lot of people are not getting jobs that are enough to both pay their student loans and have a life, you know, get an apartment, buy a car, have a family, all those kind of things. So over 50% of the people graduating this year, John, are going to go back and live at home again. I call them the boomerang generation. They keep coming back. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem because people were not expecting that.
Yeah.
But if they're going to service their student loans and whatever they're making, it's not enough to go out in the world and so on. So there are 3 things they can do if they've got a lot of student loan debt to kind of get the situation under control a little bit. I'm not going to make them disappear, but I can help you a little bit. The first one, consolidate your student loans. You've got a bunch of different federal loans at different interest rates. Consolidate them all into one at the lowest possible interest rate. And a website to help people there would be consolidatecollege.com. There's all these different programs that can help you kind of figure out what's best for you and consolidate them all. So now at least you'll have one payment at the lowest interest rate instead of many, and those are only for the federal loans.
Okay.
Second thing you can do is what's called the IBR program, the Income-Based Repayment Program. And what that says is if you qualify, you can pay the minimum on your student loans for 10 years, and then after that, no matter how much you owe, the rest of it is forgiven, so that's a good thing. Now, to qualify, you have to work for the government, state, local, federal, military, post office, Coast Guard, you know, any kind of government job. You have to work in the nonprofit sector, church, foundation, any kind of nonprofit. And there are special cases, like, say you're a doctor who goes and works on an Indian reservation, or where they really, really need people, you know, that kind of thing. You can get the IBR program. And the website I just gave you before, consolidatecollege.com, to tell you if you qualify for that IBR program.
Very nice.
The third thing you can do is refinance student loans. You don't have to be paying these very high interest rates. And people don't realize you can do that. You can refinance them to typically in the 2 to 3% interest rate range. And what you do is combine the federal loans and the private loans into one, make one payment, and pay them off quicker. My favorite place there is called Credible, CREDIBLE, credible.com. And then you put /money answers after it. They know it's me, and you get $200 off your first payment that way. So that can help you. They've also got a phone number, 855-870-6005. And so you go, you apply everything online, and then there's like 5 or 6 different lenders that offer different interest rates and different programs, so you see which one's best for you. And then there you go. You've just refinanced your student loans. You now have one payment at a lower interest rate, so you can pay them off somewhat more quickly. Not super quickly, but quicker at 2% than at 10 or 8% or some higher rate. So those are 3 things if you get a lot of student loans that maybe help you out a little bit.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. Like I said, he's literally written the book on it, The Ultimate Guide to Student Loans. So I knew that we'd have some good info here. Jordan, I always appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, and we'll be in touch again next month. How's that sound?
Love to help your listeners. They always email me at moneyanswers.com. love to help. This is a big problem, and hopefully I've been able to help a little bit there.
Very good. Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers man, and you can find him on his website, moneyanswers.com. And I've got all of the links to all of these things we talked about on our social media page, too. So for those of you who are maybe driving and didn't get a chance to write that down, you can find links to all of this at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
An organization with the acronym SCROOGE was formed in 1979 in Virginia. It stands for Society to Curtail Ridiculous, Outrageous, and Ostentatious Gift Exchanges. So apparently somebody did not want to be involved in the gift exchange at work.
I love giving gifts.
I know
I don't
you do.
understand people
There's
not
some
wanting
people that
to.
just don't want to do that. They don't want the responsibility, and they don't want all the stuff people bring them that they don't need. So they're like, no, don't put me in that. So they can join Scrooge. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Rodney Dangerfield started out as a paint salesman, went into show business when he was a little older, more so than many of other people that started in show business. But can you imagine buying paint from Rodney Dangerfield?
I can.
I think that'd be kinda cool.
I actually knew that, and I loved Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, he's a great comedian, very, very funny guy. I miss him a lot. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Red Connors was Hopalong Cassidy's sidekick. Did you know that?
No,
No, now you do.
I don't know who Hopalong Cassidy is.
We'll have to look it up. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Most American car horns honk in the key of F. So if you're in your car right now, lay on the horn for a minute. Take a listen. Was it the key of F? Now look at everybody around you. They're all looking at you. You fell for it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Have you thought of starting a home-based business but didn't like the idea of calling family and friends? This top-quality fitness and health products company lets you take advantage of their advertising power to reach people who wish to add a few hundred or a few $1,000s a week to their income by following a simple system. Plus, everyone who joins the team after you benefits you as well. To learn more about how you can leverage your time to help others get healthy and create wealth from home, call Scott Smith at 866-741-7242. That's 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Do you think your hairstyle could determine your career, Heidi?
I don't know.
Well, there's a study that says it could, but I'm going to tell you right now, the study was done by some people in the hair industry, Burl Cream. They have a survey that says a person's choice of hairstyle may have the greatest influence on their career. Okay, guys, you might be taking this a little too far. The greatest influence? I don't know about that. They found that mullets are still a popular hairstyle for those professions that don't require a lot of public interaction, like a construction worker or a truck driver or a radio DJ. Funny thing is, I actually know some radio DJs who have mullets. So maybe
I don't think I know anybody that has a mullet.
No, we'll go through a list here in a bit. Alphabetically, maybe? I don't know. Guys with cropped hair or really short hair or shaved heads were far more likely to be employed in manual labor jobs than those with long hair. And this is the one I thought was most interesting. Entrepreneurs, people who like own their own business and work for themselves, Annie,
Okay.
they have what they call as the most varied and apparent no apparent trend followed. Examples are Bill Gates with short hair on the sides and parted, while people like Donald Trump have a massive flip back mane that nobody quite figures out. So the people from Burl Cream, style director there, Lino Carbizio, sure I got that way wrong. Sorry, Leo. The style director says, it's interesting because we like to think we're individuals and that our hair and our clothing is a result of our personal preferences, when in fact it seems that we are all very influenced by our workspace and our coworkers and even what we do for a living, although I'm sure many of us would not like to admit that. And I don't think I'd like to admit that. I think that I choose my own hairstyle because this is the one I like. And I don't think I really fit in my category.
But you know what? We're also kind of entrepreneurs,
There you go.
so
Yeah,
that's
true.
why we...
See?
Yeah.
That's what... See, Heidi, you got it. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about something that's going to make the chocolate fans happy. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You've heard an apple a day keeps a doctor away. What if it was like a Hershey bar a day keeps a doctor away?
I'd be fine with that.
I would be too. And according to this story, that might actually be the case. It would keep the dentist away anyway. Eating chocolate might one day fend off cavity, tooth decay, according to researchers in Japan. I know this sounds completely backwards, but they found part of the cocoa bean, the bean husk, the main ingredient of chocolate, fights mouth bacteria. The bacteria leads to cavities. Now, the CBH, the cocoa bean husk, usually is thrown out and goes to waste. Researchers at Osaka University suggest the bean husk be put back into the chocolate to make it better for your teeth. It could also be used in toothpaste and mouthwash. The Japanese researchers found that rats with CBH added to their water had healthier teeth. They now plan to test on humans. I would probably sign up to be a part of that test. Would you do that, Heidi?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hands down.
Look how healthy my teeth are. And I no longer fit through the door, so you're going to have to keep bringing it to me. So I can't imagine that's going to be good for other areas. But you're sure going to have healthy teeth.
John and Heidi.
This is a fun story, Heidi. The oldest working nurse in the U.S. of A. just turned 92 on Monday. Florence Rigney graduated from Tacoma General Nursing School right after World War II. So it's been a while. 7 decades later, she still works there. Rigney sets up operating rooms and helps patients prep for surgery. She tried to retire when she was 67, but she said that only lasted 6 months. Wasn't her thing. If you'd like to read this story, I've got a link to it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I think that's really cool.
I think that's very cool.
I wonder if she's the oldest working nurse in the world. Do you think there's like an older nurse somewhere in another country, older than 92?
Possibly.
Oh, it says the oldest in our country, so you never know. Coming up, we're going to talk about Mother's Day. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
This weekend, we have the mother of all holidays. We have Mother's Day. And Matthew Shea from the National Retailer Federation, he's the president and CEO there, he says consumers plan to spend more dough than ever on mamas this year.
I know I spent more than ever on
Did you?
mamas this year.
Cool.
Yeah.
It says this year, as they shower moms with everything from jewelry to special outings as favorite restaurants and things like that. According to the National Retail Federation survey conducted by Prosper Insights and Analytics, the survey asked 7,406 consumers about their Mother's Day plans. Now, this was conducted April 4th through 11th, so it was about a month ago. So there was a little bit of time for them to, figure out what they're going to do. Has a margin of error, plus or minus 1.2%. Mother's Day shoppers are expected to spend an average of $186.39 for the holiday. We spend that much? Do you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For Mother's Day?
Yeah.
I don't even know what we got. We'll have to talk about it. Last year, by the way, it was $172, so $14 more this year. 85% of consumers celebrating the holiday, they say, or 85% of consumers do celebrate the holiday, rather. Total spending expects to be somewhere about $23.6 billion. That is the highest number in their 14-year history of doing this survey. The last highest number was $21.4 billion. Now, here's what people plan to buy. 69% send flowers. 56% take special outings like brunch or dinner.
First of all, if you're going to spend $189 on flowers, you deserve to be slapped
Well,
by your mother, because that is a stupid waste of money.
Okay, but here's the thing. It doesn't say that they're going to spend that much on flowers. They're just saying 69% are going to have flowers in the mix. 56% taking mom out for a special dinner or lunch or brunch. 45% purchase gift cards. Nothing like saying, Mom, I don't even know you well enough to know what you want. Here's a gift card.
Here's a card.
37% buy clothing. 36% buy jewelry. 24% buy personal services like a day at the spa. And 15% are going to give mom some sort of electronic gadget. So whether that be a phone or a camera or tablet or something. So there you go. That's the Mother's Day by the numbers. Coming up, we've got some good news. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. We had a story that was almost our good news for today. Remember the story we talked about the oldest working nurse in the country?
Yeah.
That was a contender for my good news. Now, I didn't use it for the good news, but I did use it. If you have some good news that you want to share, I would love it, and I'll tell you how to submit that to me here in a bit, and we'll try to utilize it on the program. But this story was shared, and I just think it is such a great story. And this is a story that absolutely hits us right in the heart because we are huge fans of men and women in uniform.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, hats off to the veterans that serve our country. We think the world of you. And there was a photo that was flying around online of a disabled veteran, and he was having trouble finding a job because he also has a service dog. So he would apply for jobs, and he would get turned down because he couldn't bring his service dog to work. So somebody stepped up to the plate and said, tell you what, we're going to give you a job, but we're going to hire your dog too.
That's awesome.
So how does a dog cash a paycheck, I wonder? I'm just wondering how that works.
I think they give it all to
Do they give
him.
it all to him? Okay. Well, the company that did that is a company you might have heard before, Lowe's. And there's photo and there's a little video made up of photos. You can see it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I just thought that was really neat.
I've always been very impressed with Lowe's. They're very pro-America.
That's their
I mean,
colors.
every situation that I've heard where there's been something that's questionable, where other companies would have caved, Lowe's says nope.
Well, their colors are red, white, and blue. I noticed that right away. So I think it's really neat. Anyway, like I said, I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just saying I think it's cool that they did what they did, and I would love it if you'd take a look at that story. And I'd love it if you'd share your good news. If you see something going on, now I might have already shared it, so if you send it to me and I've already shared it, I'll reply back and let you know. But or I will forget completely and I'll share it again, and then Heidi will tell me on the air.
We read that.
That's typically what happens. But you can certainly share your good news because we want to spread positivity. So you can share that at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. May is National Egg Month, and on the line right now to help us celebrate National Egg Month, we have Sarah Walters, and she is with Nest Fresh. Sarah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. This is a big month for you guys, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's the biggest of the year, and we have a fantastic campaign going on where, folks can give us their best egg recipes and have a chance to win.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, I was thinking Egg Month, you'd think that would fall like right in line with Easter because that's such a big egg holiday, but it's kind of cool that it's the next month. So, you guys have kind of 2 months in a row that are big months then.
Well, that's right. So we have Easter with all the egg dyeing and the delicious, hard-boiled eggs that you can turn into a variety of things. You can do egg salad sandwiches, you can do deviled eggs. There's a lot of things that you can do. But for National Egg Month, we actually look at how delicious, nutritious, and easy they are to cook. So we look at a lot of different options. People don't realize that they do have not only a lot of quality protein, but a lot of minerals and vitamins as well. So eggs are just really great for you.
Absolutely. And eggs are a good way to start the day. Now, how long have they been doing National Egg Month? Has this been going on a long time?
I'm not exactly sure how long it's going on. It's been going on. You got me on that one. It's been around for a while, and it's just a time that people can celebrate, not only how delicious eggs are, but all of the fun facts about eggs. When you think about an average hen, they lay about 300 to 325 eggs a year. Can you believe that one?
Yeah, that's a lot of eggs.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of eggs. And, there's a lot of fun facts about eggs. People always wonder, okay, is this egg that I found in the fridge, is this raw or hard cooked? Well, you can spin it, And cooked eggs will actually spin a lot easier. If they're raw, they wobble around a little bit because, they've got liquid in there. So that's a little trick for you. If you ever find an egg in the fridge and you're wondering, is this one of my hard-boiled ones or is this a raw one?
Oh, that's a great way to find out. I never really thought of that.
Yeah.
So now, do you have some good baking tips for people, maybe for this National Egg Month, things that they can do, to improve their egg cooking skills in the kitchen?
Well, yeah, and I want to tell you some of these tips because, like I said, we have a contest going on. It's Nest Fresh's second annual baking contest. So you go to our Facebook page and you can submit your recipes, and every week we have 2 recipes that are going to be facing off, and consumers can go and vote for the favorite recipe. And at the end of the month, after the end of Egg Month, there's one grand prize winner who will get a $500 Visa gift card. So I wanted to give some tips so people can, put their best baking foot forward and apply for the contest. Baking is kind of a science. It doesn't really allow for a lot of creative liberties, and what that means is you really have to be good with your ingredients, you have to measure well, and then know your oven. So it's important to have room temperature ingredients. That is frequently ignored, but if you plan ahead and set your eggs and butter out 1 hour before, it'll be room temperature, and it actually helps to bake much better. But also butter and flour your pans generously, and like I said, measure your ingredients. I'm not very good at this one, John. Measuring my ingredients, I kind of do a little bit here, a little bit there, and it turns out different every time.
Pinch of this, dash of that.
My husband's not a fan of that, but yeah, if you measure your ingredients very precisely, then you're going to have a great recipe. And then the part that I said about knowing your oven, know if it runs hot or cold, and then rotate what you're baking about halfway through. Because, every oven has a hot spot, and not everything is going to cook evenly, so it's best just to kind of halfway through push it, to rotate it. But don't peek in too often. The more you peek in, the more time it'll take to cook as well.
That's why I think ovens should have the same kind of thing that a microwave has, that little thing that rotates in there. They should do that in an oven, too.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Why not? I think you should invent that.
There you go. See, that all came from our egg phone call. So
Yeah.
Eggs are not just for breakfast either. You got all kinds of things that you can do outside of the breakfast time of day that people can utilize eggs for. Usually they're involved in other recipes then, right?
Yeah, you know what? There's so much more than breakfast. You can have like a BLT with a fried egg on top for lunch. You can do a curried crab quiche Lorraine. That's actually the recipe that won our baking contest last year. It's amazing. You mix flake crab, Nest Fresh eggs, milk, cheese, and a variety of herbs and spices, and it's really just a great idea for brunch or dinner. It's a really tasty one. And then you've got your desserts, so you can't miss out on your desserts. We have pecan coconut brownies and summer lemon squares. So if you're looking for some ideas, you can always go to our website, and we have recipes online. And the website is nestfresh.com. And like I said, you can do breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
That sounds fantastic. Now, something that I just had this like a week ago, and I don't know if maybe somebody else has already thought of it, but I'd never heard of it anywhere. And I was looking in my refrigerator, getting ready to make some breakfast, and I had some, eggs, of course, and I was looking in there to see what else do I have so I can make an omelet, and I had some chicken. And I was like, I've never heard of a chicken omelet before. So I tried it. It was really good. And I was like, what comes first?
You can do an omelet or a scramble, exactly.
I know. I was like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, why not have them at the same time? So.
Why not have both, right?
It was really good. So for those of you who want to get, experimental and try something, I was amazed at how good that was.
That it was. And then you can't forget the cheese. It makes it extra delicious.
Yeah, just pull it all together. It was fantastic. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us during National Egg Month.
Yeah, no problem. It was great chatting.
If I've got a recipe that I want to submit to win, where do I do that? Nestfresh.com?
Actually, do it on our Facebook page.
Okay.
So you go to Facebook, and it's Nest Fresh Eggs, and there's a tab on there that says our excellent baking contest, and you just hop on there. Like I said, the grand prize winner will get a $500 Visa gift card. But we love to see the recipes. And like I said, each week we're going to have 2 recipes face off, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll throw a link on our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Again, Sarah Walters right there with Nest Fresh Eggs. And if you'd like to learn more about them, on their Facebook page, look for Nest Fresh Eggs, or you can go to nestfresh.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.